lots of pouring, tasting, and toasting in the coming weeks, but have you ever thought about the history of wine? Is it dramatically different from centuries past? Well, we're diving into the history of vino with celebrity historian Raffi Andonian and local wine blogger Megan Greco. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, this is a treat for so many, but also a religious symbol for some. I mean, where does the history of wine really begin, Raffi?
Well, as you mentioned, the vino, there's origins in Latin, which is vinum, and there's different language origins. But that's the one we choose, and we think of Rome and Italy. But actually, the history of wine, the start goes back way before that, by thousands of years. To ancient China, about 10,000 years ago, there's a version of a wine there. But the European version that originates, it really comes from the Caucasus region in what is today the country of Georgia and Armenia, which is where my ancestors are from. About 6,000 years ago, they had an unfiltered version of wine. It tasted like a Merlot, but it was unfiltered.
That is amazing. So when we say it's unfiltered, what is that? Is it
Here's
gritty?
an example.
So this is not a Merlot. This is an orange wine here, and you can see that there's sediments in it. There's particles. There is skins and seeds in it. And really now there's actually, so this used to be historic, and now they have made it where it is, there's a natural wine movement.
Wow.
Because
so
people like the old style. They think it's more complex. If you hold up.
I know, I see this brown spot at the bottom.
That could be from the glass, but.
Oh, well, it's in. I don't know.
No, there is. Like, look
it's
at this.
in everybody's.
Look, if you get close to
yeah. It's
Isn't
not
that
the wine.
crazy? So yeah, so people, there's a natural wine movement right now going on, and people are loving this complexity, the authenticity, really the history of wine, and this is it. Okay. Look how cloudy it is. You can't see through it.
You guys taught me something new today. Okay, so let's talk about the history of wine here in Missouri.
Yeah, so locally, what's really fascinating is, well, first of all, from the old world to the new world, it comes across the Atlantic with the Spanish primarily. So you have wine in South, Central America, even in what is today the U.S. and New Mexico at first with the Spanish, and then California, which you know. But here in Missouri, it's a couple hundred years later, in the 19th century, it comes through Germans. There's a couple of Germans that are kind of influential that come to the U.S., find themselves here in St. Louis, end up being toured in the Missouri Valley by the son of Daniel Boone, who then they write back promotional material to German immigrants who come here. There's a German settlement society established as Hermann, and when Hermann is established, it includes wine plots of land.
I love that.
That grew to be a huge thing over the course of the 19th, early 20th century. In fact, prior to Prohibition, Missouri had one of the largest wine producers in the world, right here in Missouri. More than 40-plus counties produced wine here in Missouri. And one of the best contributions that we did worldwide was with the disease phylloxera, which is a bug, the wine bug, that really infested France and threatened the French wine industry. Well, because it came from America, the local vineyards were immune to it. So a local Missouri bug scientist took that and merged the plants to create a new plant, and that worked. And we shipped millions of those vines over back to France and helped save the French wine industry from right here in Missouri wine.
Yeah. Who knew?
I know, if it wasn't for Missouri wine,
where would wine be?
French wine.
Just saying.
I know.
Okay, I like that. And one of those wineries that we've talked about that's here in Hermann.
Yes.
So many of us love.
Yeah, so I brought a Chambourzen from Stonehill. It's right here. It is a beautiful wine. So this is American French hybrid wine. And it is kind of, I would say, similar to a Pinot Noir, but a little bit sweeter. So I think you're going to like this. You get to take this one home with you today.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm excited because I actually have had this one.
Oh, you have?
Stonehill Winery was here. This is one of their award-winning wines.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is great. It is fruity, low tannins, and
And I love that she just gave you that wine. That's a great Christmas tradition.
Thank you. A Christmas tradition.
I will say that drinking is a long-time Christmas tradition. Think about the ancient gods. Ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, all have ancient wine gods, all of whom are also associated with fertility, agriculture, and a resurrection. All three of those gods died and came back to life. That still carries over into Eucharist in the Catholic Church, if you think about it. And when we celebrate Christmas, we're celebrating Jesus for those of the Christian tradition. And in England, who of course comes from the Christian tradition, the 12 days of Christmas were celebrated with drinking, balls, feasting, even all kinds of parties and all kinds of gambling. And so that tradition of partying from England comes over here, from Middle Ages England to here to colonial America. And that's how you kind of get the association with the holidays and drinking and wine.
I absolutely love that.
I know.
Okay, and these are quick, good wines for the holiday season?
So this one I'll just highlight real quick right here. It is a sparkling wine from the Limoux region of France, and it is not as expensive as champagne, but it is delicious.
Okay, that is a win in my book. You're saving money, and we are celebrating the holiday, especially when it comes to wine and the history of it. So thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Red wine. Get to my head.
Don't go anywhere, St. Louis. We'll be right back. Thanks for winding down with us today.